Oh, it just ripped the roof off!
Wow.
Whoa, boy. Whoa!
In April 2018, Long Beach, Mississippi experienced a rare meteorological event when a waterspout formed over the Gulf of Mexico and became a tornado upon reaching land. A local captured this transformation on video, showcasing the dramatic nature of such weather phenomena.
Oh, it just ripped the roof off! Oh, wow.
We actually gotta work through it.
I don't think we're
dang.
gonna go through it.
No, definitely don't want to go through that. Oh my gosh.
We're like feet from this thing. Oh, look at the tint. No, we're good, we're good, we're good. See, it's not even knocking over trees, it's just alright.
Oh my god.
Wow, look at all the vortices.
tentacles.
The birds are actually caught in it.
They are, aren't they?
I think so.
Oh my.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh, great.
Oh my gosh. Look at those people in it.
What?
Those people are in there.
Oh, it's real weak. It's not even knocking over signs, but that's so cool.
We almost got it. We got a water spout.
Although it didn't cause major damage or injuries, the waterspout was still a significant occurrence. There are two types of waterspouts: fair weather waterspouts and tornadic waterspouts. The one in Long Beach was likely a tornadic waterspout, which are tornadoes that form over water under severe thunderstorms. This type of waterspout is part of larger storm systems that can produce high winds, hail, and dangerous lightning. The Long Beach waterspout did create some local alarm, especially as it tore the roof off a boat when it made landfall. However, it was not powerful enough to cause more extensive damage, and fortunately, no injuries were reported. Observers nearby noted that the winds were not strong enough to damage solid structures, ensuring their safety within their vehicle. This waterspout was part of the April 2018 North American Storm Complex, a larger weather system that triggered numerous tornadoes across several states, highlighting the unpredictable nature of spring weather in that region. Imagine you're on your usual morning drive when suddenly the ground opens up right under you, almost swallowing your car. That's what happened here in Russia, where a sinkhole unexpectedly appeared in the middle of the road. Luckily, no one was injured, but the way people drove around it, you'd think this happens all the time. Initially, drivers noticed a small dip in the road and carefully avoided it. Then, another crack appeared. The ground started collapsing, and one car barely escaped falling in. Soon after, the entire section caved in. Eventually, someone placed a single orange barrier to block off the sinkhole, but despite its size, it didn't seem to worry other drivers much. They just drove around it as if it were a minor inconvenience. They must have been in a hurry. In July 2024, the Yamagata Prefecture in Japan experienced a severe thunderstorm that brought terrifying lightning strikes and heavy rainfall. The intense storm darkened the sky, making it appear as though the sun had disappeared. The region experienced several strikes of lightning, contributing to dangerous conditions, including flooding in parts of the area. These thunderstorms are part of Japan's typical summer weather, especially in regions like Tohoku, where Yamagata is located. Thunderstorms in this area are often fueled by the warm, humid summer air, creating unstable atmospheric conditions. The storm also brought with it heavy downpours, which increased the risk of flooding and landslides across the region. In Johannesburg, South Africa, a risky incident took place on March 1, 2008, which serves as a stark reminder of the importance of safety in tree removal. A group attempted to remove a large palm tree, but their approach was severely flawed. They chose to place a pickup truck under the tree, using the bed of the truck as a makeshift catcher for the falling tree. This method was not only unconventional, but also extremely dangerous, showing a lack of understanding of the mechanics involved in safely removing trees. The situation was observed by someone believed to be the owner of the truck, who fortunately left the truck just before the tree fell. This decision potentially saved him from a disastrous situation. In July 2024, a powerful and terrifying storm swept through the towns of Redcliffe and Medicine Hat in Alberta, Canada, causing widespread destruction. The storm, characterized by intense winds and heavy rainfall, left homes damaged and power outages across the region. Winds reaching speeds of up to 140 kilometers per hour knocked down trees, power lines, and damaged several buildings, while many residents were left to assess the damage and begin cleanup efforts.
That's crazy.
You gotta love your son.
Redcliffe and Medicine Hat faced power outages affecting thousands of homes, and the violent storm also caused significant damage to parks and public infrastructure, including vehicles being damaged by flying debris. The storm was unexpected, and residents described it as one of the most severe weather events they had experienced in recent memory. China, the world's most populous country situated in East Asia, features a diverse landscape including mountains, plateaus, rivers, and coastlines. Recently, extended periods of heavy rainfall led to road subsidence, which triggered landslides. One such landslide swept a white car into a ravine. The instability of the road and the surrounding terrain caused the car to be carried away by the landslide, underscoring the drastic effects of the severe weather conditions on the region. March Reed Glacier, situated in Glacier Bay National Park in Alaska, is renowned for its remarkable calving events. During these events, large pieces of ice detach from the glacier and fall into the sea, producing a thunderous rumbling sound along with waves and icebergs. These calving events are quite a sight, with enormous ice blocks breaking away in a dramatic display of natural beauty. The waves and icebergs created by these events are visible from a distance and are truly captivating.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
Oh my god!
Whoa, look!
Look at it pushing it up!
Wow.
However, like many glaciers globally, March Reed Glacier is experiencing retreat, a consequence of climate change that leads to accelerated melting. In July 2024, the town of Fosino in northern Italy experienced a terrifying hailstorm with golf ball-sized hailstones and intense winds. The storm darkened the skies as massive hailstones caused significant damage to cars, homes, and crops. This storm is part of an increasing trend of extreme weather events in Italy, often linked to climate change, which has contributed to more frequent and severe hailstorms. Such events pose risks to infrastructure and agriculture in the affected areas. In August 2021, the cargo ship Crimson Polaris, returning from Thailand with over 48,000 tons of wood chips, ran aground off the coast of Japan. Initially, it appeared to reach its destination relatively intact, but the ship had suffered more damage than was initially apparent. Just 2 days after grounding, the ship split into two along the Japanese coast. This caused it to start leaking oil, creating a slick nearly 15 miles long and half a mile wide. While one half of the ship remained more or less upright, the other half sank into the water. The full extent of the environmental damage from this incident remains unknown. However, there was a fortunate turn of events, as all 21 crew members were rescued by 3 patrol boats and emerged from the ordeal without injuries. To prevent further issues, such as potential collisions, the oil spill cleanup operation was conducted overnight. In March 2019, Colorado went through one of its most intense avalanche cycles on record, driven by a mix of heavy, steady snowfall and specific weather conditions that increased avalanche activity throughout the state. The situation was particularly severe from late February to March, fueled by atmospheric rivers that delivered a lot of moisture, resulting in thick layers of wet snow on top of a fragile snowpack. This caused widespread avalanches affecting various locations, including key transportation routes. One notable incident saw a massive avalanche bury part of Interstate 70 at Vail Pass. The avalanche dumped snow about 6 feet deep across a 100-foot wide stretch, blocking both directions of the highway. This was just one example of the numerous events that led to major disruptions, such as the 18-day closure of Colorado State Highway 550 due to avalanche threats. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center recorded over 1,000 avalanches during this time, highlighting it as an unprecedented period in the state's avalanche history. These avalanches not only caused considerable damage, but also presented serious safety hazards, underscoring the importance of staying alert and prepared during peak avalanche times. Several tourists camping near a mountain lake in Nepal experienced an avalanche firsthand. Despite the mountain not looking snow-covered, a large amount of snow quickly descended to the base in under a minute. A white cloud, which might look like fog from afar, but is actually packed with destructive power, covered a large part of the mountain. The avalanche created a powerful wind. The tourists felt the impact even from their distant campsite, as their tents and gear were scattered by the force. However, after the snow settled and the clouds began to clear, a rainbow formed. Despite the damage to their camp from the avalanche, the tourists found the natural spectacle to be a joyous and overwhelming experience. Sicily, known as the Island of the Sun for its sunny weather and stunning landscapes, is currently facing a severe storm that's wreaking havoc across the region. Situated in the Mediterranean, Sicily is now grappling with a powerful storm that has brought intense winds and rain, disrupting life and transforming its picturesque environment into a scene of destruction and chaos. As Storm Domingos continues to impact the area, concerns are growing about Italy's readiness to handle such severe weather events. This storm has highlighted the challenges and the need for effective storm preparedness in the region. Here's what happened after a major hailstorm hit Milan, Italy in 2023. The streets were swamped with a mix of water and ice. A video captured a man using a mop to clear ice from the doorstep of a building as chunks of ice floated past. These floating ice clusters posed a risk to parked cars along the streets. The hail accumulation was so severe that it disrupted city traffic entirely, creating what looked like rivers of hail. Additionally, the basements of some buildings were flooded. Residents stayed inside until the hail ceased. As the storm subsided, the water levels near parking areas decreased, and streams of icy water formed. An unusual sight emerged on the sides of streets, resembling a beach, but instead of pebbles or sand, it was covered with hail pieces. The hail was so plentiful that people could gather it by the handful. India is known for its perilous roads along cliffs, posing significant risks to drivers. A massive landslide recently took place on the Kullu-Manali National Highway in India, where approximately 100,000 cubic meters of soil and rocks cascaded onto the road below. Amidst screams, people and vehicles scrambled in all directions. A huge cloud of dust rose from the landslide, nearly engulfing everything nearby. This event is a stark reminder of how small we are compared to the forces of nature. Pine Island Glacier, located in West Antarctica, has been closely studied due to its quick retreat over recent years. This glacier often experiences calving events, where large ice chunks break off into the sea, forming waves and icebergs. One significant event in 2013 saw an iceberg around 720 square kilometers in size break away from Pine Island Glacier, marking the largest calving event noted at that time. This was followed by several other large calving events, highlighting the glacier's ongoing instability and rapid retreat. These calving events are a major concern for scientists because Pine Island Glacier is one of the fastest retreating glaciers in West Antarctica, and its melting could significantly raise global sea levels. Researchers are keeping a close watch on the glacier's changes and calving patterns to better understand how it behaves and to predict what may happen in the future. In July 2024, a massive sinkhole opened up in a California neighborhood, creating a 20-foot deep crater. This incident was triggered by a combination of heavy rainfall and infrastructure issues. Sinkholes in California have become more common due to extreme weather conditions, such as storms and floods, which weaken the ground and cause collapses. In this case, the sudden opening raised concerns about nearby utilities, but there were no immediate reports of injuries. Crews worked quickly to assess the damage and ensure public safety. In July 2024, the city of Tarragona, Spain, experienced a severe hailstorm with golf ball-sized hailstones. The storm was part of a larger weather system affecting parts of northeastern Spain, driven by extreme weather conditions that have been increasingly common in the region. The hailstorm caused significant damage to cars, homes, and infrastructure, with reports of shattered windows and dented vehicles. These intense hailstorms, fueled by a mix of heat waves and atmospheric instability, have become more frequent as a result of climate change and warmer sea surface temperatures, especially in the Mediterranean region. A massive sinkhole opened up at a golf course in American Fork, Utah, due to rising water levels and possible debris blocking drainage pipes. Golfers are being kept away from the area for safety, particularly around hole 14, where the ground gave way. Crews believe a tree stump or other obstruction might have clogged a drainage pipe, causing the earth to collapse.
What we're thinking is that there might have been something that got lodged in there, like a tree stump, and obviously expanded the pipe and just started to form a little sinkhole. And then, so that's kind of what we were believing.
While the golf course remains operational, it could be a few weeks before repairs can begin to fully address the sinkhole and its underlying cause. In January 2020, a massive dust storm hit Parkes, a town in central New South Wales, Australia. The intensity of the storm was so severe that it darkened the skies, turning day into night in some places. This phenomenon occurred as strong winds from thunderstorms lifted vast amounts of dust into the air. The event was dramatically captured in drone footage that displayed a towering wall of dust sweeping across the landscape. Dust storms are relatively common in central and western Australia, particularly during periods of drought and extreme heat. These storms typically arise from strong winds associated with thunderstorms or cold fronts that carry away loose topsoil from arid, exposed grounds, forming large dust clouds. The severity of this particular dust storm was likely heightened by ongoing drought conditions in New South Wales, which made the soil especially dry and prone to being airborne. Dust storms like this can significantly reduce visibility, contribute to respiratory health issues due to deteriorated air quality, and cause damage to local infrastructure. During the storm, residents were advised to remain indoors to avoid the adverse conditions. Gwiju, characterized by its mountainous landscape and subtropical climate, often experiences diverse and unpredictable weather. Recently, intense weather conditions caused significant disturbances across various regions in Gwiju, prompting an upgrade to yellow rainstorm alerts. On April 18th, Wanggong Province endured a particularly severe day, impacted by strong convective weather systems that brought violent storms to many areas. The province's extensive meteorological network, which includes over 100 weather stations, diligently tracked the progression of heavy to torrential rains. Notably, Guang's Tiani district recorded an impressive 47 mm of rain in just 2 hours. Columbia Glacier, located in Prince William Sound, Alaska, is famous for its calving events where large pieces of ice break off and fall into the water, creating big waves and icebergs. Since the 1980s, Columbia Glacier has been shrinking quickly, losing about half of its mass, and this shrinking continues alongside frequent calving events. The calving at Columbia Glacier is quite a sight, with huge ice chunks falling off, showcasing the dramatic beauty of nature.
Whoa. Nice. Get it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Holy man.
Oh! Oh, my God.
However, like many other glaciers, Columbia Glacier is melting faster primarily because of climate change, making it less stable and possibly leading to even more and larger calving events. Tourists can see these calving events firsthand by taking a boat tour in Prince William Sound.
Oh my word! Sorry.
Oh! John's getting us
Oh my god!
Better turn this
Okay.
boat around.
Yeah. All
right,
Run
hold on to
away.
the boat.
Run away.
These tours offer a close-up look at the glacier and the chance to experience the powerful impact of nature. Oil spills are among the most catastrophic environmental disasters, and the Prestige oil spill in 2002 stands as one of the worst. In November of that year, a storm 120 miles off the Spanish coast caused the massive oil tanker Prestige to begin leaking oil into the Atlantic Ocean. When the captain sought refuge in a Spanish harbor to mitigate the damage, Spanish authorities refused entry. French authorities also denied the ship harbor access shortly thereafter. As the Prestige approached the coast of Portugal, the Portuguese Navy intervened, towing the tanker further offshore. Tragically, this action led to the tanker breaking in half, resulting in the spillage of 20 million gallons of oil into the ocean. The aftermath was dire, with cleanup efforts costing approximately 2.2 billion euros, equivalent to about $5 billion today after adjusting for inflation. Additionally, the insurer of the vessel was ordered to pay an additional $1 billion. The environmental impact was profound, causing extensive damage to the marine ecosystem that has been deemed priceless. France regularly encounters hailstorms, particularly during the spring and summer months from May to September. These storms are most common in the southern regions, such as Occitanie and Nouvelle-Aquitaine. In October 2022, France experienced a significant hailstorm that resulted in considerable property damage. The size of the hailstones during such storms can range from as small as golf balls to as large as tennis balls, often leading to severe damage to crops, vehicles, and buildings. The agricultural sector, especially vineyards, frequently suffers extensive financial losses due to these storms, amounting to millions of euros each year.
Purtroppo sta graminando in modo cattivo, anche a volte amoroso, tutto fermi, guardate la strada bianca.
Additionally, recent shifts in weather patterns have made hailstorms more frequent occurrences. Recently, Dubai was struck by a severe hailstorm. Meteorologists had issued warnings, and some residents took precautions. In one parking lot, owners covered their cars with tarps, thermal insulation foil, and other materials to protect them from the hail. They secured the covers with film and tape to prevent them from being blown away by the wind. The cars in this parking lot were high-end, some worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, which explains the extensive protective measures. Despite the warnings, many people either didn't know about the storm or ignored the alerts. As a result, their vehicles sustained serious damage from the hail, which was large enough to shatter windows and leave dents and scratches. The hail, about the size of ping pong balls, accumulated on roads and sidewalks, making them look like a child's ball pit. The storm also damaged gardens, outdoor furniture, and was marked by strong winds, heavy rain, and lightning. Ice accumulated on sidewalks, and when the storm cleared, residents emerged to see the unusual sight of their city covered in ice. Streets were flooded with melted hail, submerging cars and causing significant traffic disruptions. The damage extended beyond cars to building roofs and other structures. Some vehicles' glass and headlights were so badly damaged they looked like sieves. The storm also destroyed shop signs and shattered storefronts. Debris filled the streets, and the force of the water swept away dozens of vehicles, leaving piles of wrecked cars that looked like a scrapyard. Many car owners could only salvage valuables from their vehicles, as most were beyond repair. In some areas, streets were so flooded that only the roofs of cars were visible. Baotou, a major city in Inner Mongolia, China, known for its rich deposits of rare earth minerals, was hit by a severe tornado. The tornado struck the Swan Lake Resort in the Dohan-Mingan Joint Banner, an area known for its beautiful grasslands and traditional Mongolian yurt camps. Unfortunately, these culturally significant yurts were not built to withstand such a storm, resulting in over 100 of them being damaged or destroyed.
我操！哎呦！
我在处理它呀，他在处理都是哪？
我操！
这他妈！哎呀，高压平了，从哪儿多？
The tornado occurred around 3:30 p.m. local time, causing significant injuries to 33 people, some of whom were critically injured and required hospitalization. In response, emergency rescue operations were quickly launched, and temporary shelters were set up to help those displaced by the storm, including both residents and tourists. Tornadoes are a rare occurrence in this part of China, which is usually more affected by monsoons and floods. The unexpected tornado posed unique challenges to a community unaccustomed to dealing with such extreme weather events. Emergency services responded promptly, providing essential medical care and support to those affected, helping to manage the situation and assist the community in recovery efforts. Salong, a town in the Malaysian state of Perak, known for its local charm and community feel, recently experienced a hotel collapse due to a landslide near Galula village, which is on the Badranath National Highway in the Joshameth development block of Kamoli district. This area had already witnessed a severe landslide at the NTPC site just a few days prior. Fortunately, no injuries or harm have been reported from these incidents. Bulgaria faces a range of storms throughout the year, with the most severe typically occurring during the spring and summer months. Thunderstorms are frequent during these seasons, especially in June and July, bringing with them heavy rain, lightning, and sometimes hail. An intense storm in July 2022 darkened the skies and obscured the sun, signaling harsh weather conditions that led to some property damage. During the colder months of autumn and winter, Bulgaria can also experience snowstorms, particularly in its mountainous areas. These weather conditions can lead to flooding, property damage, and interruptions in everyday activities. The National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky, established in 1994, showcases one of the biggest and most valuable collections of Chevrolet Corvettes worldwide. These cars have been produced since 1953 and are manufactured very close to the museum, less than a quarter-mile away at the Bowling Green assembly plant. This museum is a must-visit for fans interested in seeing the evolution of the Corvette over the years. In February 2014, the museum was in the news globally for a dramatic event linked to Kentucky's limestone terrain. On the morning of February 12th, the ground under the Sky Dome section of the museum gave way due to weakened foundations, resulting in a sinkhole. This incident, captured by security cameras, saw 8 very rare Corvettes, along with display stands and concrete slabs, falling into the sinkhole, causing over $1 million in damage to the cars. After ensuring the other 20 cars in the showroom were moved to safety, efforts were quickly launched to retrieve the fallen cars. Surprisingly, 5 of the cars were recovered within a few days, while the rest had to wait until the building was stabilized. The museum was back open for visitors just 1 day after the sinkhole occurred, and it now features a new exhibit about the sinkhole that includes a virtual car retrieval experience. Fortunately, all the damaged cars have been fully restored, showcasing the durability and quality of these classic vehicles. Perito Moreno Glacier, located in Los Glaciares National Park in Argentina's Patagonia region, is famous for its frequent calving events where large ice chunks break off and fall into the water. This glacier is distinctive because, unlike most glaciers which are retreating due to global warming, Perito Moreno is in a state of equilibrium. This means the ice it gains each year roughly equals the ice it loses. The balance is partially maintained by these calving events, which prevent the glacier from advancing too far. These spectacular ice falls are most common in the summer, when warmer temperatures and sunlight make the ice melt and destabilize. Tourists visiting Los Glaciares National Park can observe these calving events up close by taking a boat tour or hiking to viewing points near the glacier.
Oh,
Whoa.
nice. Get it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, holy man.
Oh! Oh my God!
These experiences allow visitors to witness the stunning force of nature and understand the need to protect our natural environments. However, it's important to remember that even though Perito Moreno is currently stable, the ongoing effects of climate change could disrupt this balance, as rising global temperatures continue to affect glaciers worldwide. Heavy rains damaged the Rajkatare, causing it to overflow and collapse. The large boulders that were holding back the water began to break apart under the force of the currents, allowing water to flood the surrounding area. Observers were in a safe spot and could see how fast the water was rising. As nearby areas started to flood, a strong waterfall emerged. A driver on the road noticed the breach and quickly began to reverse to reach a safer area. Breida Mercuriakul Glacier in southeastern Iceland is famous for its spectacular calving events, where large pieces of ice break off and tumble into the nearby lagoon. The best place to see these events is at Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, a popular destination for tourists. Visitors can join boat tours that take them right up to the edge of the glacier, offering a close-up view of the ice calving. Watching huge ice chunks fall into the water is an incredible experience. However, it's important to remember that glacier calving can be unpredictable and potentially hazardous. Visitors are advised to adhere to safety instructions from tour guides and park officials to ensure their safety during such events. On July 23, 2018, a significant disaster struck in southeastern Laos's Adapeu province when the saddled AMD, a part of a larger hydroelectric dam system still under construction, collapsed. By September 25th of that year, the incident had resulted in 14 confirmed deaths. Additionally, at least 98 individuals were reported missing, with concerns that up to 1,100 more could be unaccounted for. The collapse also forced approximately 6,600 people to be displaced from their homes, highlighting the severe human impact of this catastrophe. San Francisco, California has had a rough history with the ground beneath it. The city has faced many earthquakes, but has always rebuilt over the ruins. In 1995, in the Seacliff neighborhood, a sudden sinkhole opened up and swallowed a classic home in seconds. Luckily, no one was in the house at the time, but the damage was very costly. After heavy rain, the old sewer line couldn't handle the pressure and burst, causing the ground to collapse and take the house with it. The city had to quickly shut off all utilities to prevent explosions and fires. In the end, 23 more homes had to be evacuated because people feared the sinkhole might spread. In July 2024, severe floods hit Seoul, South Korea, turning the streets into rivers and causing widespread destruction. Torrential rains led to massive flash flooding, submerging roads, homes, and subway stations. The storm caused significant disruptions, and several areas of Seoul experienced power outages as the rain continued to pour, causing landslides and displacing thousands of residents.
Yeah.
The storm is part of a growing trend of extreme weather events in South Korea, worsened by climate change, which has increased the frequency and intensity of such events. Local authorities responded quickly, but the storm highlighted the need for improved infrastructure to manage heavy rainfall and protect vulnerable regions. At hydroelectric power stations, there are always inherent risks. In Colombia in April 2018, a dam breach was caused by the blockage of the outlet tunnels of a river. Just in time, one of the workers managed to move away from a strong water current that could have swept him away. As the water surged, it washed away everything in its path, eroding roads and submerging machinery along its course. Several individuals found themselves caught in the fast-flowing water and had to climb onto roadside rocks for safety. Others quickly tried to escape the dangerous area by moving through the water. Interestingly, the water currents followed the winding road as if adhering to traffic rules. The incident led to losses in the millions, destroying the station and its surroundings. Himachal Pradesh, located in the western Himalayas of northern India, recently experienced a devastating landslide near Mandi. This occurred during the construction of a 4-lane road and resulted in significant damage. The incident illustrates the risks of undertaking large-scale infrastructure projects in mountainous areas. It also highlights the difficulties in managing construction in such unstable environments and the potential for disastrous consequences. From above, the ground might look solid, but underneath, it can be a different story. In some areas, water gradually wears away the rock layers below the surface. When enough rock is eroded, the ground above can no longer be supported and collapses, creating a sinkhole. These often occur in remote areas, but they can also unexpectedly appear in urban settings. A video from Russia illustrates just how dramatic these incidents can be. You wouldn't usually worry about sinkholes while driving on a paved road, but in the video, a sinkhole suddenly opens under a concrete mixer, nearly swallowing it whole. Authorities noted that this was a small sinkhole, suggesting that a larger one could have had even more devastating consequences. On July 7th in Shangrao, Jiangxi, a cargo ship traveling near the Tiangbu Bridge lost control and crashed into the bridge. The impact caused the bridge to collapse onto the ship's cargo hold, leading to the ship sinking. Fortunately, the 2 people on board were rescued. There were no vehicles on the bridge at the time of the accident, which helped avoid any injuries. The incident is currently under investigation to determine the cause and any contributing factors. In July 2024, a powerful tornado struck Mikkeli, a city in southern Finland, bringing strong winds, darkening skies, and causing widespread damage. This storm was unusual for Finland, where tornadoes are relatively rare, but it highlights the increasing unpredictability of weather patterns globally. The storm caused intense winds that uprooted trees, damaged property, and led to power outages in many areas of Mikkeli. The skies turned dark quickly as the tornado approached, making it seem as though the sun had disappeared, an eerie and frightening phenomenon for residents. This event underscores the growing trend of extreme weather in regions that typically do not experience such violent storms, potentially linked to the impacts of climate change. The Sardoba Reservoir in southeastern Uzbekistan experienced a severe breach on May 1st, 2020, leading to widespread flooding. Over 600 homes were inundated, prompting the evacuation of around 70,000 people, and 50 individuals were hospitalized due to the incident. According to the director of the Scientific Information Center of the Interstate Commission for Water Coordination for Central Asia, the breach could have resulted in the loss of over 500 million cubic meters of water from the reservoir's total capacity of 922 million cubic meters. The dam, standing 19 meters tall, was primarily designed for irrigation purposes in the surrounding agricultural areas. Authorities have indicated that the collapse of a section of the dam could have compromised the entire structure, raising concerns about a potential complete failure. Repair efforts have commenced to address the damage and stabilize the dam to prevent further disasters. On September 28, 2022, Hurricane Ian made a catastrophic landfall near Costa, Florida. As a Category 4 hurricane, it brought with it devastating winds of up to 150 miles per hour and a storm surge that peaked at 15 feet above normal levels. The hurricane wreaked havoc across southwestern Florida, particularly affecting Fort Myers and Sanibel Island, causing an estimated $112.9 billion in damages and marking it as one of the most expensive storms in U.S. history. The hurricane originated as a tropical disturbance in the Caribbean and quickly intensified as it neared the U.S. mainland. After impacting parts of Cuba, Ian reached its peak intensity shortly before hitting Florida. The storm's impact was severe, destroying homes and infrastructure and resulting in widespread power outages that affected over 2.7 million residents in Florida. The recovery from Hurricane Ian has been lengthy and challenging, with federal aid amounting to nearly $8.7 billion allocated for rebuilding and restoration. This financial support is vital for helping communities recover and enhance their resilience against future storms. The hurricane particularly impacted Florida's elderly population, underscoring an urgent need for improved disaster preparedness plans that address the specific vulnerabilities of older adults. Many elderly individuals were among those who, despite evacuation warnings, were caught in the rapidly escalating floodwaters. In June 2023, a massive sinkhole opened up on a road in Colorado, swallowing a portion of the roadway. Bystanders captured the dramatic moment as the ground suddenly collapsed. The sinkhole, likely caused by ongoing heavy rains and soil erosion, was large enough to disrupt traffic and raise concerns about the stability of nearby infrastructure. Fortunately, no vehicles or people were directly affected by the collapse, though the incident drew significant attention as emergency crews arrived to secure the area and assess the damage. Colorado is known for experiencing sinkholes due to various factors like natural erosion, underground water movement, and occasional infrastructural issues. In March 2022, the small town of Jacksboro in North Texas was hit hard by an F3 tornado, which brought winds of up to 165 miles per hour. The tornado caused significant damage, especially to the local high school and elementary school, where roofs were ripped off and debris scattered across the campuses and nearby areas. This tornado was part of a larger storm system that produced a total of 108 tornadoes across several states over several days, affecting not only Texas, but also Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Alabama. Despite the widespread destruction of property, including 60 to 80 homes in Jacksboro, no fatalities were reported, largely due to effective emergency responses and the community's resilience. Power was quickly restored, and cleanup efforts were promptly organized. Local officials and residents coordinated the recovery efforts efficiently, with the schools planning to reopen shortly after undergoing initial repairs. The event underscored the importance of being prepared and maintaining strong infrastructure to withstand such powerful natural phenomena. It also highlighted the unpredictable and far-reaching nature of tornado outbreaks. The prompt and organized response played a crucial role in mitigating further damage and helping the community start the process of returning to normal life. In June 2024, the town of Mahda, located in northern Oman near the UAE border, experienced a scary tornado that brought intense winds and thunderstorms. Tornadoes are relatively rare in this region, making this event particularly unusual. This storm was characterized by high-speed winds, causing widespread damage to property and infrastructure. The tornado was part of a broader weather system affecting Oman and nearby areas, with significant rainfall leading to flash flooding in some parts of the country, and the strong winds associated with the tornado contributed to hazardous conditions. Kongsbreen Glacier in Svalbard, Norway, is famous for its frequent calving events where large chunks of ice break off into the sea, creating loud, echoing cracks that can be heard from miles away. These events produce waves and icebergs that are visible from a distance and offer a breathtaking show. Like many glaciers, Kongsbreen Glacier is shrinking because of global warming, which speeds up its melting. The shrinking of glaciers like Kongsbreen highlights the effects of climate change on Earth's natural environments. For those visiting the area, there are several ways to experience these calving events. Boat tours provide an up-close look at the glacier's edge, where you can see the ice calving directly. Alternatively, visitors can hike to a nearby lookout point for a wide view of the glacier and the surrounding landscape, where the dramatic scenes of calving ice can be observed. Following the devastating Gorkha earthquake in April 2015, footage from across Nepal captured the extensive destruction, with temples knocked down and homes turned to rubble. The earthquake claimed the lives of nearly 9,000 people. The seismic activity was so intense that it even shook the high mountains, triggering an avalanche from Pumori, a peak near Everest. At Everest's South Base Camp, hikers first heard the ominous rumble and felt the ground shake beneath them. Moments later, they were engulfed by a massive wave of snow. When the avalanche subsided, the survivors found themselves in a landscape transformed into a blanket of white with tents ripped apart and equipment buried. The disaster at the base camp resulted in the deaths of at least 19 people, adding to the tragic toll of the earthquake. In July 2024, Greece was hit by a sudden and intense storm that caused the sky to darken dramatically, making it appear as though the sun had disappeared. This severe weather event brought heavy rains, strong winds, and even thunderstorms, affecting various parts of the country. Such storms in Greece are often part of extreme weather patterns linked to climate change, resulting in more frequent and unpredictable conditions. The storm caused flooding in several areas, disrupting daily life, transportation, and causing property damage. Residents described the storm as one of the most severe they had witnessed, with dark clouds covering the sky and creating a sense of foreboding as the storm intensified. This event is part of the growing trend of extreme weather in Mediterranean countries, as climate conditions shift, causing an increase in powerful storms, floods, and other natural disasters. Typhoon Haiyan, also known as one of the most intense storms ever recorded on Earth, struck as a Category 5 super typhoon. It hit the Philippines just 11 months after the devastation of Typhoon Bopha, and also affected other parts of Asia, including Vietnam and Palau. With wind speeds peaking at 195 miles per hour, Haiyan ranks among the most powerful typhoons in recorded history, and is also the deadliest, claiming over 6,300 lives and leaving many others missing. The typhoon generated massive storm surges that reached up to 20 feet high on various Filipino islands, leading to extensive flooding. Additionally, the typhoon caused a significant oil spill, which had a devastating impact on the local wildlife. The total damage from Typhoon Haiyan amounted to nearly $3 billion, prompting a major international response with millions in funds raised by relief agencies and charities to aid the affected regions. In early 2024, Choco, Colombia, experienced 24-hour heavy rains that led to a devastating landslide on the road between Quibdó and Medellín. Tragically, the landslide resulted in at least 34 fatalities, with individuals trapped under mud and rocks. Footage from the scene shows a massive flow of mud sweeping a car along with it. This event raises questions about whether the government had issued warnings regarding the potential risk of landslides following such heavy rainfall. Gaurikund, a town in Uttarakhand, India, is located at the base of the Kedan Range in the Himalayas. Recently, this area experienced significant landslides in Kedan, and Gauri triggered by a cloudburst, causing considerable damage. These These events underscore the extreme weather conditions prevalent in the region, which often lead to major disruptions and destruction. The landslides have profoundly affected the local communities, highlighting the area's susceptibility to severe weather phenomena. Helheim Glacier in Greenland is known for its frequent calving events where large chunks of ice break off and fall into the sea, creating waves and icebergs. These events are dramatic, with huge pieces of ice detaching and making loud cracking noises that can be heard from a distance. The resulting waves and icebergs are both beautiful and striking to see. In recent years, Helheim Glacier has been retreating quickly, one of the fastest in Greenland, with an increase in the rate of calving. Scientists attribute this acceleration to warmer ocean waters, which erode the glacier's base and cause it to shrink faster. While the calving events are spectacular to watch, they are also indicators of climate change's effects on the Earth. As glaciers like Helheim keep retreating and calving, they add to rising sea levels and other climate changes. A massive dust storm swept through southeastern Arizona, causing widespread disruptions. The time-lapse footage shows a giant wall of dust that knocked out power to approximately 11,000 customers. The storm delayed high school football games and brought traffic to a halt. The dust storm also occurred during a period when much of the region was under an excessive heat warning, further complicating conditions for residents and local authorities. In 2011, the MV Rena, a big container ship, got stuck on a reef close to New Zealand. Everyone on board got off safely, but the ship eventually sank and a lot of its cargo was lost. If you were missing a package back in 2011, it could have been because of this incident. The MOL Comfort disaster in 2013 stands as one of the most significant shipping container mishaps in recent history. This incident occurred while the ship was navigating the Indian Ocean, carrying over 4,000 containers. It tragically broke into two. The vessel experienced a hull girder fracture, which compromised its structural integrity, though investigators were unable to determine the precise cause of the fracture. Fortunately, all crew members managed to evacuate safely, and incredibly, both halves of the broken ship remained afloat initially. However, the stern section sank about 10 days later, dragging approximately 4,000 containers down with it. Efforts to salvage the remaining half were initially successful with a tow line attached to the bow, but it eventually caught fire and also sank weeks later. The severe consequences of the MOL Comfort disaster prompted a re-evaluation of existing maritime rules, leading to the implementation of new regulations concerning the hull girder strength for large container ships. Gray Glacier, located in Chile's Torres del Paine National Park, is famous for its dramatic calving events. During these events, large pieces of ice break away from the glacier and fall into Gray Lake, creating waves and icebergs. The sight and sound of these calving events are stunning, with loud cracks echoing around the area and large ice chunks making a splash. These icebergs and waves can be seen from a distance, offering an impressive view. Tourists visiting the area can watch these events from different spots. Many choose boat tours to get close to the edge of the glacier and experience the calving up close. Others prefer hiking to a nearby lookout point that offers a wide view of the glacier and the surrounding landscape, allowing them to see the calving from above. In July 2024, Berga, a town in northeastern Spain, experienced a severe hailstorm as part of an extreme weather event. The storm brought large hailstones and heavy rains that caused significant disruption. Hailstorms in Spain, especially during the summer, are often associated with sudden shifts in weather patterns, influenced by high temperatures and moisture buildup in the atmosphere. This event in Berga is just one example of the increasing frequency of such weather phenomena, often linked to climate change and warmer sea surface temperatures around the Mediterranean. The storm left streets littered with hailstones, caused damage to cars, homes, and crops, and left the town temporarily paralyzed as residents took cover from the intense storm. A group of tourists in the Himalayas saw an avalanche start to come down the mountain. At first, they just watched, but soon they understood they needed to get to safety quickly because avalanches can happen suddenly and be very dangerous for anyone skiing in the area. At ski resorts, they sometimes purposely cause small avalanches to prevent larger, unexpected ones. They do this by setting off controlled explosions that make the snow slide down the slopes in a safe manner, which can also be quite a spectacle for tourists to watch. Tornadoes are often associated with wide open spaces, but in May 1997, an F1 tornado unexpectedly made its way into Miami. It seemed almost as if the tornado realized it was out of place as it moved lightly through downtown, struck a cruise ship, leaped over much of Biscayne Bay, flipped a car, and then disappeared. While the damage was minimal, the sight of a tornado among Miami's skyscrapers was striking enough to capture international attention. Contrary to popular belief, tornadoes do not have a preference for rural areas. It's simply that there is more rural land than urban space globally. The footage of this unusual event in Miami served as a vivid reminder that tornadoes can indeed make their presence felt in major urban centers. The Ever Given, a colossal container ship stretching 1,300 feet, famously ran aground in the Suez Canal on March 23, 2021. This incident blocked one of the world's most crucial maritime trade routes for nearly a week. The ship was caught diagonally across the canal after losing steering due to high winds and a dust storm, which caused it to veer off course and hit the canal's bottom. Further investigations also pointed to human error as a contributing factor to the mishap. The ship's bow was stuck in one bank of the canal, while the stern touched the opposite bank, effectively forming a massive barrier that prevented the 15 vessels behind it from passing. The traffic jam eventually involved over 200 vessels. To address the situation, 8 tugboats and an excavator were deployed. The tugboats attempted to refloat the Ever Given, and the excavator worked to clear sand from the bow. It wasn't until a high tide came in that the ship was finally freed, allowing it to continue on its way. The blockage resulted in approximately $900 million in damages. Franz Josef Glacier, nestled in New Zealand's Westland Tai Putini National Park, is celebrated for its breathtaking beauty and regular calving events. During these events, large ice chunks break off and tumble into the Waiho River or onto the nearby terminal face. There are several ways visitors can see these calving events, including from the glacier viewpoint by helicopter or on guided hikes directly on the glacier.
More coming, look. More coming, look. Things coming. Come on.
While the calving events at Franz Josef Glacier may not be as large as those at some other glaciers, they are still a spectacular and awe-inspiring phenomenon. It's important to note that, like many glaciers globally, Franz Josef Glacier is shrinking due to climate change, which is altering its calving patterns. The Capital One Tower in Lake Charles, once the city's tallest building, had to be demolished on September 7, 2024, due to severe structural damage from Hurricane Laura in 2020. Over time, it was determined that repairing the tower was not feasible. For safety reasons and to make room for new developments, the decision was made to bring the building down through a controlled implosion.
I grew up in Michigan, and Jesus Christ, they demoed the what you call it, the Silver Dome. Yeah. And they did all that demo, and it didn't fall. Alright. Well, at first, sound travels 1,000 feet a second, so when it was like, okay, where's it? All of a sudden, there it was. Wow. Jesus. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like if you ignited something like that and it doesn't fall and then you gotta go like.
The tower had been a prominent feature of the Lake Charles skyline, but sustained considerable damage, including shattered windows and compromised structural integrity from the Category 4 hurricane winds. The controlled demolition marked a significant moment for the community, with many locals gathering to witness the end of an era for the iconic building. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.